Hello everybody, my name is Malachi Bogdanhan, and what an election that was. What an absolute landslide that was for Labour. Nobody expected that Labour would win this many seats, and nobody expected the Coalition to do this badly, but here we are. I think you got to go deep into why the Coalition lost. We don't have time. We're not going to do that here. I might do that in another video, but it was just everything aligning incorrectly for the Coalition. Everything that could have gone wrong for them, specifically the Liberals. The Nationals did quite well. Specifically the Liberals. Everything that could have gone wrong for the Liberals went wrong for the Liberals. The Liberals did so poorly that you can probably count on both hands, if not one hand, the amount of seats they will win in capital city metropolitan areas. They don't have any seats in Adelaide. They don't have any seats in either of the territories, and they don't have any seats in Tasmania. Currently, the ABC has given Labor 87 seats, the Coalition 40, the Greens none, and others 10. And first, I want to look at the seats that the ABC thinks are too close to call, which begins with Fremantle. I don't think much people were expecting a big independent surge here. The AEC is currently undertaking a preference count between the Labour candidate Josh Wilson, and who's the sitting MP, and Kate Hewlett, which I believe she's a Climate 200 backed Teal independent. So he only leads by 355 votes. He currently led by 16.9, so what a massive swing away from Labour. But it'll be interesting to see that in the coming days. 81% of the vote counted. It's going to be very close, Fremantle. We still may not know for a couple of days. Bullwinkle, they really named a seat after a cartoon character, but this 50 seats. I think this may be the closest seat so far. This is a new seat. I'm pretty sure it's the only new seat at this election, formed in the eastern suburbs of Perth, the growing eastern suburbs of Perth. The Nationals ran a candidate. The former WA Nationals leader Mia Davies is running. She got a respectable 16.4% of the vote. We'll just go back to the page here. Yeah, it's fairly big. It comprises Hasluck, parts of Hasluck, Canning, and Swan. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Nationals preferences. How much of that? That's only 40ish. So that's only 40%. So I don't know if the Nationals will be able to get the Liberals home, but it's 50-50. It's anybody's game. 8.3% first preferences to One Nation, plus 3.1% to the Australian Christians. So it'll be interesting to see how the preferences flow. As I said, there are only 50 seats in it. It can go anybody's way. All the seats are decided in South Australia, but I want to talk about this seat, Bendigo. A couple of months ago, when I was predicting a massive win for the Coalition, I think I was predicting them getting nearly 85 seats. I didn't predict Bendigo would be a seat that they would win. But apparently, this is a seat to watch, because if the Nationals win the seat, Jacinta Allen, who is the Premier of Victoria, and side point, the Liberals thought it was a good idea to put anti-Jacinta Allen ads in Queensland, which is retarded. Most Queenslanders haven't heard of Jacinta Allen. But Jacinta Allen's, her electorate is Bendigo. Federal seat of Bendigo overlaps her state seat of Bendigo East. It's really a referendum on Jacinta Allen's premiership, and if she does poorly, they'll probably get rid of her. Even if Labor does win the seat, they'll probably be wise to get rid of her. Jacinta Allen's not being a good premier. Currently, the polls are giving the Coalition over a 10-point swing in Victoria at the next state election, which that'll be devastating for Labor. But the Nationals, I didn't expect the Nationals to do this well. It's currently anybody's game. The Nationals were leading earlier, but postal votes as they come in, postal votes tend to favour the right. So hopefully, if you're in the Coalition, the Nationals, the postal votes will be able to get the Nationals home. The Nationals have actually done quite well in this election. They haven't lost any seats, if you don't count Andrew G's seat of Calais, which he left the Nationals to sit as an independent after the Nationals announced they would not support a voice to Parliament. So the Nationals could gain seats, which would be huge for the Nationals. Colwell, a side point, I've heard apparently there are rumours that the Nationals could leave the Coalition. That would be huge. Colwell, it's pretty obvious that Labor's going to win. I think the only problem is two-party preferred, although or who will be against Labour and the two-party preferred. Although there is massive 40, for some reason, 40 points, over 40% of voters voting for one of them, for a minor party. A minor party. You've got independents, 2 independents by 12 each, another one 7.1. Just so many parties. So many parties have got over 1% of the vote here. I'm not sure why. Does this webpage tell me? No, I don't think it does. But I'm pretty sure it'll just be a contest of who will be against Labour and the two-party preferred. I think that's why the ABC is waiting to call it. I could be wrong though. Kooyong. This is no, nobody was expecting this. Kooyong currently held by Monique Ryan. I predicted a couple of months ago. I predicted that the only Teal seats to hold would be Kooyong and Warringah. But it'll be interesting to see if Kooyong is one of the few Teal seats to fall. Amelia Hamer, she's the Liberal candidate, and maybe it was a bit of an omen for Monique Ryan doing Pauline the seat, considering the fact that her husband was involved in a high-profile incident taking down Liberal Party corporate signs, I believe. I'm not too sure as to the specifics, but they must be worrying that their seat must be in trouble if they're doing that. Previously held by Monique Ryan by 2.2%. As postal votes come in, it could go to Liberals. She's only ahead by 1,000 votes. She's only ahead by 0.5%. Goldstein, this is a very interesting one. I wasn't expecting this. The Liberals have gained this. He leads by 684 votes, but the ABC has given Goldstein to Tim Wilson. He used to hold the seat, but prior to the Till independent surge in 2022, and now he's back in Parliament, which is, I believe, currently the only Liberal gain so far. I could be wrong. Now this is huge. The Greens. I posted something yesterday on Twitter. I said, he's behind by 2.5 points. He was 47.5% of the two-party preferred. He can't come back from here. It's too big. The deficit is too big. The deficit's got even bigger. It was closing up earlier today, but wow, 9.2% swing to Labour. The deficit was closing up earlier today, but it seems to have gotten bigger. Adam Bandt needs 33% of preferences to retain his seat. The AEC releases of official preference counts reveal that flows of under 26%, which means Labour still leads the projected two-candidate preferred count and remains within a chance of victory. She leads by 4,000 votes. I don't see any way where Adam Bandt could win the seat. This is huge. This was unexpected. It was a lot of people were expecting Peter Dutton to lose the seat, but Adam Bandt, not much people were expecting him to lose the seat. Go up to Queensland for a second. Ryan, the seat of Ryan, which is currently the only Green seat to be held. I think this was the least likely seat the Greens would hold, but Elizabeth Watson-Brown is currently leading by 11,800 votes. They're not giving it to the Greens yet because if the Labour finishes second, Labour will win the seat. The Coalition got the most first preference votes, but the Greens and Labour are almost neck and neck for second. I think the Greens will just get home on first preferences. They'll finish second. Go back to Victoria. Flinders. Not much to say here. 4.6% swing away from the Liberal candidate Zoe McKenzie. So the AEC has abandoned its Liberal Labour preference count, and they'll be doing a preference count between the Liberals and this independent. I'm not sure if he's a Teal independent or if he's real independent like Daly in Sydney, who managed to hold her seat actually. Fowler, yeah, swing to her of 1.1%. So that must mean she holds it by 2.2%. She currently leads by 3,108 votes. I think you can give it to her, unless how her preference is looking. So she's ahead. I think she'll win the seat. I think I'm predicting that the Liberals will win Flinders. Monash, 2.3% swing to the Liberals. No preference count of it is available. Big, lots of independent votes there. Russell Broadbent, he's the current sitting MP. He was not disendorsed. He was they decided not to endorse him as the Liberal candidate, so he decided to run as an independent, as an Ian Goodenough in the seat of Moore in Western Australia. He got just under 10% of the first primary vote. He's the current sitting member. They decided not to endorse him as the candidate for more. Going to Canberra now. This is another contest I didn't expect. 13.4% swing away from Labor. Jessie Price, the independent. I believe she's a Teal independent. Wow, look at the size of her forehead. Sorry. She's currently leading by 0.5%, 947 votes. So it'll be they're currently conducting a preference count between Labor and the Independent. They need 27.1% of preferences, but only 25.8% of preferences are flowing to them so far. I'm not sure what the preference flow will look like and how postal votes will flow, but it'll be close. That is a seat to watch. In Sydney, I'm pretty sure they had already given it to Nicolette Bold, but it's back to too close to call. Giselle Captarian currently leads by 178 votes, 2.4% swing away from the Independents. This was a seat I was predicting would fall to the Teal Independents. The seat gained a lot of Teal Independent voters from North Sydney, who the seat North Sydney was held by Carly Tink, but she decided not to contest. So, Teal Independent Nicolette Bowl has been endorsed by the Climate 200 lobby. They should just form a political party. They've got Central Alliance in South Australia. For all intents and purposes, she's an independent. But if she can revive that party as like a Teal party for the socially progressive, economically conservative voting bloc, that could pay huge dividends for them. We already talked about Ryan. The other seat I want to talk about is Longman, which is the seat I ran for. That's me, Malachi Bogdan-Hearn, 4,012 votes so far. I was disendorsed, of course, if you didn't see the news already. But it's just this one thing. The dissident right-wing parties, One Nation, Trumpet, Patriots, and Family First, if there was a unified dissident right like there is for the dissident left, like most seats would have 15% at least dissident right, probably getting up to 20% because they'd be able to together pull all their resources together and chip away at the Liberal National vote. Currently sitting MP Terry Young, I've met him. He's a nice guy. The fact that there's almost no swing against him, either in the first preferences or there's not too much of a swing against him in the two-party preferred. This was a seat that many thought would go to Labor at the last election. Not many people were predicting this seat to go to Labor this election. But the Rhiannon Douglas, the Labor candidate for Longman, on election night they had given it both to the Liberal Nationals and Labor. So this is a seat to watch. I think he leads by 439 votes. He's ever since they started counting postal votes on Monday, he was losing, but now he's in the lead. I think they can give that seat to Terry Young. I wonder if tomorrow morning we'll wake up and Adam Bandt doesn't have a seat. I think that we can give Melbourne to Labor. It's interesting. David Pocock is first. He got 18.28% swing to him. He got over one quota. Wow. So obviously he's the most popular senator in the Northern Territory, the Australian Capital Territory rather. Currently Labor, Liberal, Greens, in Labor. Labor is looking like the sixth seat will go to Labor. Preference flows. If it's not Labor, it'll be One Nation. Who's One Nation? Warwick Stacey. What's that for? No, I don't believe One Nation can get home on preferences. They got an additional quota of 0.67. One Nation only has a quota of 0.41. If all the dissident right-wing parties pull their preferences together for One Nation, they might get One Nation might get there, but everybody would have to preference One Nation. Let alone put preference One Nation at all, because you don't have to preference all the boxes for the Senate. Victoria, what's Victoria looking like? Labor, Liberal, Greens, Labor. Labor's ahead, 0.41. legalised cannabis preferences, they'll probably go to Labor. Trumpet of Patriots preference. Actually, I don't think Trumpet of Patriots preferenced One Nation at all on their Senate how to vote card. I don't think in Queensland they did. I'm not sure about Victoria though. Family first preferences, they'll probably go to One Nation. I wonder if enough Trumpet of Patriots voters preferenced One Nation. I wonder if preferences will be able to go to One Nation and the One Nation will pick up the seat. I don't think so though. A lot of people were predicting a One Nation senator in each state, but currently it's only looking like Queensland, and it may not even be Queensland. If you look at here, Labor LNP, Greens, they've been elected. One Nation is ahead, however. I just want to talk about this. In 2019, Labor got such a poor result in the Senate election. They only elected a single senator. When was the last time that happened? That a major party like that only elected one senator. The Coalition didn't even do that in any election, in any Senate election this time or last time. Currently, One Nation just has under half a quota. Gerard Rennick is close by 0.33%. Trumpet of Patriots preferences and Family First preferences. I think I said this on Twitter. I think they'll get Gerard Rennick over the line, which is very good. I'm happy. I got myself and two other people to preference Gerard Rennick first on the Senate ballot paper. I really hope he wins the 6th Senate spot. No disrespect to Malcolm Roberts. I saw him at the pro-life rally. Although at the pro-life rally he started talking about COVID apparently was invented in 1965 or something ridiculous. This is why people don't take the right seriously. No disrespect, Malcolm Roberts. You seem like a nice bloke. So Western Australia, Labor, Liberal, Greens, Labor, Liberal, currently elected so far, and Labor is ahead. Labor has an additional quota of 0.47. The Nationals, they're blue. I know why they're blue, but they should be green. One Nation have a quota of 0.41. Nationals preferences, I think, will be able to get One Nation over the line, plus Australian Christians, Gerard Rennick, and Family First is running here. But a lot of dissident right-wing parties, their preferences will probably be able to get One Nation home. So I'm predicting the 6th Senate spot to go to One Nation in Western Australia. Labor, Liberal, Labor, Greens, Liberal, Labor is ahead. Those 5 already have been elected. So Labor has an additional quota of 0.7. The Premier is really popular here. The opposition leader is in trouble for drugs. Former opposition leader now. He's not in Parliament. What a timeline we live in. One Nation almost gained the 6th Senate spot last time in 2022. In fact, this was the only state where Liberals managed to elect 3 senators. It's not looking like Labor will... One Nation, is going to elect a senator. So there'll be 3. I'm predicting the 6th Senate spot to go to Labor. Northern Territory. Country Libs. That's actually interesting. Jacinta Price is the first. Is the first elected senator. We'll get into state and territory swings later, but currently only 4 have been elected so far. 2 out of 6 remain out of doubt. Liberals and Jackie Lambie. That's interesting. If One Nation can... if enough Trumpet of Patriots preference to One Nation will get home. But shooters, fishers and farmers, their preferences probably go to One Nation. Libertarians, but I'm not sure. It's not looking like that. But 2 seats they haven't given already. Maybe Greens might be able to elect 2 senators if Jackie Lambie doesn't get there. No, I don't think Greens will elect 2 senators. It'll probably be Jackie Lambie or One Nation, because Lee Hanson, that's Pauline Hanson's daughter, is running as the lead Senate candidate for Tasmania. But it'll be interesting to see preferences and where the 5th and 6th Senate spot go. The Liberals are definitely getting a 5th Senate spot, but no. I was considering if Labor was going to get the 6th Senate spot, but it'll probably be a minor party like Jackie Lambie. Jackie Lambie is quite popular in Victoria, Tasmania rather. Her party was polling well last year in the state election. I want to look at this map first, showing the swings to Labor and the Coalition in every seat. It's just a sea of red. the swings to Labour in almost every seat. 5% swings, 10% swings. A lot of seats, 10% swings to Labour. There are a few seats that's Bendigo. I believe that's the only seat where they had a 10-point swing towards them, the coalition. But most seats, it's just going down. It is just down. My goodness, but what an absolute massacre. And Labour, conversely, it's going up. Greens, a lot of it's going down. Some's going up. I want to talk about the Greens vote later. One Nation, Independence. That's One Nation. One Nation. It's a bit smaller. Some seats. That's the Hunter. I want to talk about the Hunter actually. Hopefully, I remember. Actually, I'll do that now. There's not much to say about the Independence and One Nation in regards to that. People were predicting that this would be the only seat that One Nation would pick up in the House of Representatives. Obviously not, because Dan Rapacioli is picking this up. Leads by 20,735 votes. So he had a 4.8% swing towards him. I did not expect that. It seems as though almost exactly everyone who didn't vote for the Nationals voted for One Nation. I know that's not how that works, but it looks like it. 1.8% swing away from the Greens. Sue Ellen Wrightson, this is Sue Ellen Wrightson's seat. She didn't even get to the payment you get. The AEC gives you the 4% threshold. They give you the nomination fee, I believe it is. Even I got a higher percentage than Sue Ellen Wrightson. Interesting fact: I've almost got as much votes in Longman, an election of 140,000 people, than Drew Pavlou did in the entire Senate election of Queensland, an election of 4 million people. Interesting fact. And we can see here that there's a 2.8% swing to Labor, 3.5% swing away from the Coalition primary vote, 2.2% swing to Labor, their primary vote. Others 2.8% swing. I was not expecting this. 0.5% swing away from the Greens, 1.3% swing away from the One Nation. I would have expected it to be higher. Trumpet and Patriots, the vote almost just collapsed. New South Wales. Oh, okay. I just remembered. I should give my tips for the Senate, for the 6th Senate spot. We'll go to New South Wales. It'll be Labor. Victoria, I'm going to give it to One Nation. One Nation in Victoria, One Nation in Gerard Rennick in Queensland, One Nation in Western Australia, Labor in South Australia, and the Liberals and Jackie Lambie in Tasmania. Going back to party totals, New South Wales, 4.6% swing away from the Coalition in New South Wales, 1.9% swing away from towards the Labor rather in New South Wales. I'm not really interested in New South Wales numbers. I want to look at this. I want to look at the territory votes. The territory votes are the most interesting for me, at least in regards to this election. This is the only state or territory. This is the only state/territory where there's a swing towards the Coalition, towards the Country Liberals, because the territory government former, they voted it out in a landslide. The Country Liberals won. There's only a turnout of less than 70% in that election, but they have mandatory voting. That's ridiculous. There's a 4.7% swing towards the Coalition. As I said, the only state or territory in which there was a swing towards the Coalition, and there is in the two-party preferred. As I said, that's because the former territory government was so unpopular. There's crime everywhere. Hopefully they deal with the crime. Fingers crossed, because people are sick and tired of crime, honestly. Big swing away from Greens. Wow. Look at the ACT. The Coalition vote just collapsed here. I'm actually surprised the Greens didn't make it to the two-party preferred here at the SET. That would have been huge. Very interesting tidbit of information it would have been. Queensland, 4.4% swing away from the Coalition primary vote. 3.2% swing to Labor in the two-party preferred, plus 3.8% swing in their primary towards them in their primary vote. We haven't talked about Dickson yet, so we'll have to talk about that seat later. One Nation, South Australia rather, just dominating South Australia. Labor is 4% swing towards them in the primary vote, 5% swing towards them in two-party preferred, nearly 7 point swing away from the Coalition primary vote. Bloodbath. this is their most performing state. Like nearly 10% swing towards them in the primary vote and the two-party preferred. It's an absolute massacre. Like this was the only seat to swing towards the coalition in 2022. No, they've had the biggest swing against them. Only a quarter of first preferences. Why is this? Why is this? I'm not too sure. If somebody can tell me in the comments, I'd appreciate that. But Victoria, vote remains steady. Actually, only dropped by a little bit. The primary vote, 1.5% swing away from the coalition to Labor. Western Australia, well, a 0.6% swing to Labor. I wasn't expecting swings to Labor. Labor's actually gained seats in Western Australia. Their primary votes dropped off a bit because they had that massive victory in 2022. That's what got Labor over the line because Mark McGowan was just so fucking popular. But Roger Cook's almost as popular. In fact, fun fact. Mark McGowan won by so much that there were swings of 10% in many seats. The average swing, there was a swing of 10% away from almost around 10% from Labor's primary vote in statewide, and they retained most of their seats. The Liberals only have one more seat than the Nationals. We already talked about that. I want to talk about the seat of Dickson. The seat of Dickson, Peter Dutton seat, nearly 8-point swing to Labor and the two-party preferred. This has never happened in Australian history where the opposition leader has lost his seat. An opposition leader has lost their seat twice in the past week. Pierre Poilievre in the seat of Carleton Carleton in Ottawa in Canada, and now Peter Dutton, his seat of Dickson in Queensland in Australia. 7.1% a swing away from him. The first references 2.4, not a modest swing towards Labor. Big swing towards the Teal Independent. Ellie Smith, actually, I think she's called a Maroon Independent. Greens vote, wow, that just collapsed. Although they probably have someone else to vote for now. The Greenies. And not interesting information about the other minor party candidates. But this election tells two things. One, the massive swing against the coalition. It's just an emphatic rejection of Trumpism and, for the time being, right-wing populism. There are many parts of right-wing populism I agree with and I support, but I recognise that now it's not the time for such ideas. Probably in 2028 or 2031 when Labor does such a terrible job, and people don't want to vote for the Liberals because they've been such terrible opposition and such terrible government. Just we got to remind people of the Turnbull and Morrison years. Absolute joke. And for the Greens, this is an absolute rejection. The fact they have 0 seats, they may end up with 0 seats. Like, they were banking on picking up a couple of seats. Richmond, Cooper, they've got a transgender candidate in Cooper. Will's Coptic Christian candidate. Apparently the Gaza supporters hate him. 2.8% swing to Greens, not enough for them to pick up the seat. Like the vote against the Greens, the fact that the Greens may end up with 0 seats, that is an emphatic rejection of Gaza politics and an emphatic rejection of the annoying politics the Greens participate in, the self-righteous, smug, condescending attitude they have that people hate. People hate the Greens. They don't want the Greens. And as I sympathise with the Gaza plight. That doesn't mean I support Hamas. I just think they're being treated wrongly by Israel. Feel free to get angry at me in the comment section. But this is an emphatic rejection of what people see as Hamas sympathy. This is an emphatic rejection of the kind of politics the Greens participate in. I'm not talking about grassroots democracy. I'm talking about, as I said, the condescending, smug, self-righteous attitude, the annoying climate change advocacy. The Greens who know nothing. They have no life experience at all. I sound like a parent talking to their child. But the Greens, people are just sick and tired of the Greens. The Greens almost ended up with 0 seats in Queensland. Had a big swing against them in the Canberra territory election. For the first time in 12 years, the Territory Labor government doesn't have to govern in a coalition with the Greens. So, as I said, it's an emphatic rejection of the things the Greens stand for. I believe that is all I have to say. hopefully I didn't forget anything. If I did forget something and I don't talk about it, I'll probably leave a comment about it. But I want to thank you all for watching. God bless you all. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media, and everywhere. My link tree is in the description. Hopefully I'll get this out by tonight, although I might probably have to get it up in the morning. It's past midnight. It's almost half past midnight. Thank you all for watching. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to my YouTube. God bless you all, and goodbye.